Hello and welcome to this second video in our series of top 85 games for the BBC Micro. In this video we're going to be looking at a game called Martian Nim, which comes in at 84 in our rankings. If you haven't already checked it out, please do have a look at the first video in the series, because not only is it a look at game 85, Meteoroids, but it also gives a little bit of background to the series, why we're looking at 85 games in the first place, and some general background about me and my love of all things Beeb. But without further ado, let's have a look at Martian Nim. So this game came on a cover disc with the magazine Disc User, an Argus specialist publication. This particular issue, issue number 6, came out in April 1988, and for the princely sum of £2.95, which actually was not an inconsiderable amount of money back in 1988, you got this magazine and a cover disc, which was the main attraction and probably explains the name of the magazine in the first place. This was the old style floppy disk, which was actually pretty floppy on the outside as well as on the inside. And this disk came typically with a host of features, utilities, games, and various coding examples. And one of the games on the cover disk from this edition was a game called Martian Nim. So here's the page within Disk User, which talks about the game. I'm not sure if DJ Bartram was the programmer. You can see his name or her name up there in the top left, but we'll assume that it is. So yes, this is Martian Nim. It's based on a very old classic game called just Nim, obviously, without the Martian. It's believed to have originated in China, although no one's entirely sure. Records first talk of this game in Europe in around sort of 16th century. So, safe to say it goes back quite a long way. Now, this is a new take on the game, Martian Nim. Um, you know, Classic versions of Nim tend to involve matchsticks or general tiles, but this game instead does it with Martians. So, Martian Nim, let's dive in. Right, let's start it up. Okay, so yes, indeed, DJ Bartram, or Mr. David Bartram, is indeed the game programmer. So a little bit of introduction here, just telling you about the game, how to play it. So essentially you've got 3 rows of Martians, rows A, B and C, and you take it in turns, playing either against the computer or another human player. I'm on my own, so I'm just going to play against the computer. And you take it in turns to basically destroy a set number of Martians on each turn, and the winner is the player who removes the least aliens. So let's give it a go. Pretty nice splash screen there, rather like that. Disk User, there you are. Press spacebar to continue. Okay, so player 1, well, we're player 1, so we're going to be human. It's my initials, CH, very good. Okay, and the player 2 is going to be the computer. Now, we're not going to make it too hard on ourselves, so let's go with number 9 for easy. And yes, we'll go first. So here you go, here are our Martians all laid out. So you can see that our Martian is holding a little gun there, and we've got a choice of how many of his fellow Martians to obliterate. So let's go for row A, and let's kill 2 of them. Here we go. Alright, he's accepted our instruction, and there you go, his little gun, some kind of whirring device, rather like that. There you go, 2 Martians obliterated. I have to say, one of the rather charming aspects of this game is the fact that the sprites for the Martians, who you can see in the rows, they're kind of looking around, and when he starts to shoot his gun, the Martians in the 2 other rows that he's not firing at, they all look, up and down as if to say, oh goodness, that could be me next. Right, so let's go for maximum Martian destruction. When I used to play this as a kid, I didn't really have much of a clue about how to win the game, so I used to just go to each row and kill as many Martians as possible, which kind of defeats the object of the game, of course, because you're supposed to try and do it with as few kills as possible and force your opponents to do the most damage. Alright, there you go. So the computer has chosen just to remove 1, so I'm going to remove 1 from row B. you go. See the Martian who knows he's about to be shot. Look, he's looking in our direction. It is rather cute, actually. I have to say, I do like the animation on this. Okay, computer is going to take out the last Martian remaining on row A, which means that we're going to be forced to remove the last one in row B. And there we go. Firing away. And that's our last Martian destroyed. Ah, and we've won. Now, I have to say, one of the things that did used to frustrate me somewhat about this game is that you would reach the end of the game and it would simply say, you won, or if the computer won, I win. Which, without any indication of why, certainly as a child, I used to find rather frustrating because it sort of relied on you to keep count of how many Martians you'd actually taken out and how many the computer had taken out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do something which the game supports, which is rather fun. I'm going to get the computer on hard mode to play the computer on hard mode. And we're just going to see what the artificial intelligence of the game decides to come up with. So first computer player is going to take out one from row A. Sometimes this was quite a good way of trying to work out how the computer works out what its different turns are going to be. It's rather like watching a computer play chess against itself. You kind of start to get a feel for how the computer brain is working, and then try and take it on yourself later and see if you can win. Now, we did win our first game, but to be fair, it was on the easiest possible setting. I would be really curious actually to see the source code for the Martian Nim because it'd be interesting to know how the different difficulty levels are set and what sort of coding is used under the covers to enable the computer to be either better or worse at the game. You can kind of almost understand how it could be really, really good at the game, but how you program it to, in effect, be less good at it, that's a rather interesting thought. So it looks like the computer has basically just taken it in turns to remove Martians from rows A and B, totally ignoring the bottom row there. Now we'll see what the first computer player decides to do now. He's going to take out two. Probably means that then the next computer player will probably take out two and then leave the final one to the second computer player, really. Let's have a look. Oh no, he's going to take all three out. I stand corrected. There you go. 3 Martians, away they go. So, in common with meteoroids, there's not actually a huge amount of interaction, not really that much going on in the game, whereas meteoroids was a game based around avoiding objects. This one is more of a sort of mathematical kind of game, trying to work out how to be the winner by taking out the least Martians. But interactivity-wise, there's not a lot to do. The graphics, however, are quite fun. But even then, after you've played this game for a few attempts, it does start to become a little bit tedious and not that exciting. Certainly as a child, it didn't tend to hold my attention span for that long. But every now and again, I did used to like to load it up and just obliterate Martians because that was really the most fun. So I think what we'll do is we'll try it on hard mode just as a last attempt. But I'm not even going to try and win. I'm just going to do 4 from row B, just maximum Martian slaughter really, and just enjoy the graphics because I think that's probably the highlight of the game itself. These rather charming looking Martians. I think I also used to believe that they bore a little resemblance to the Repton character who we'll be seeing quite a lot later in this series of videos, for those of you who remember the game series Repton. But yes, there is a sort of, certainly around the face, there's definitely a passing resemblance to Repton. Okay, so yep, once again, we're going to take out as many as we can. We're definitely going to lose, no question about it, but it's just rather fun to enjoy watching the effects. I think that gun and the sound effects that go with it are actually pretty decent for a game of this sort of age. I like the effect of the little whirring white thing going around the end of his gun, and the the effects of the Martians disintegrating is also pretty good. Yeah, well, no surprises there. The computer was the winner. So I think that's probably going to be it for Martian Nim. So game 84 in our series. Do join me again next time for game 83. Until then, thank you and goodbye.